welcome to the weekend edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had an absolutely amazing weekend as we are heading into Monday. I will probably not have a Monday morning edition since I'm doing this one a little bit later in the evening unless there's some major changes that happen overnight. But let's go ahead and dive right in. For those of you new to the channel, do me a favor, make sure you click the subscribe button below, and a much appreciated like would be lovely as we try to change the world one trader at a time. So let's dive right in. Look at the S&P. And on the weekend edition, we tend to look at a slightly bigger time period. You know, on Friday, I talked about my belief that there could be a sell-off towards the end of the day. And actually, that sell-off happened early in the day. And I really, you know, when looking at this on Friday, I had said that if we break below this little area here, there's going to be a small time period, opportunity. And that's exactly what it was. And it really just came down to this little fair price value area here. So it didn't sell off on Friday. This was our first Friday where the markets didn't give us a big sell-off. Now, the Nasdaq, we got a bit more of a sell-off, right? That same line that we had here, the Nasdaq sold off significantly more and has not rallied back up to where it was. So the Nasdaq is weaker than the S&P right now in general, as the S&P was bolstered by some more large cap, things that you can hurt that when they drop on your foot, they hurt, right? Companies like Boeing and things like that have been a bit stronger than some of our technology names. But coming into what we have for the weekend, I don't really have a lot of changes. We've still got a fair price value area up here for selling, but I will tell you, I'm feeling less and less confident about that area. So I'm actually going to edit that area to a dashed line. And the reason for that is because the way we're arriving to that area, we've got a lot of chop heading up into that area, which is definitely gonna make that a little bit of a weaker area with not as much opportunity for us in there. Nasdaq, very much the same area that we had identified right through here. I'm going to leave this one just as is. I'm actually going to add the origin of the drop that we had on Friday as a potential reversal point as well, and there's a chance that we could get there in the overnight hours. We will see, but a little bit of weakness in the Nasdaq. We're up 27 though to start off this Sunday's trading session. Crude oil. So crude oil, we had the breakdown, and then it went back up, and then it's come down, and it's really done nothing since our entry on this short breakdown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the line from this area. Now, there's no reason, by the way, that you should have been stopped out yet. Unless you just decided not to hold it over the weekend, which I think many people don't want to do, is hold it over the weekend. But I think there's still room for it to fall, at least down into this range here. So take your own trading style into play here. If you're still in the thing, if you held it over the weekend, there's, once again, like I said, no reason really to get out. Matter of fact, there may be a chance to add on. If we break below, call it 67.72, you might want to add on to your position. Gold, we had a very nice breakdown in our gold for the entry. It chopped around all on Friday, and now we're actually back up above that area here. So once again, I'd imagine that most of you did not hold it over the weekend. I've told you, my kind of blanket that I'm not holding things over the weekend for now. And so my guess is many of you did not as well. So I'm going to remove that line as we are still below it for the breakdown, those of you that took it. The bond markets bounced right off of our breakdown line and have not yet come back down to it. So we're going to leave this area in. We also have a potential short area above us here. No reason to add anything new. In the Aussie dollar, a little bit of an area here that was kind of created that could be something to look at in the future. I'm not going to mark it off at this moment, but I think that could be an area that comes into play a bit later. The euro, we've got a level way up above us here. I'm thinking in the overnight hours, for those of you that are insomniacs and you don't watch this until I post it, we may get a breakout long opportunity just above here, and there's room to roam if we do get above there. So that may be one to look at in the overnight hours. And then in the Canadian dollar, we had our move down and did not keep going down like I frankly anticipated that it might, and now has kind of come back up. So now we're going to remove these areas as we have come back up into that level. So if you held it over the weekend, if you didn't hold it over the weekend, then you did okay, and you closed out for a small profit. And if you held it to the weekend, then you're probably still in the trade, just not don't have as much profit built in any longer. But there's really nothing for me to add on this one at the moment. We can certainly look at a potential reversal opportunity just above current price, right in this region here. I think that could be a good area for a potential reversal. Looking last but certainly not least at the Great British Pound, Japanese Yen. British Pound, we had a breakdown. That breakdown did occur. We still are just kind of chopping around. And so I think there's another opportunity for another breakdown. If you missed the first one, you could get another bite at the forbidden fruit, if you will, right below this area here, because we are putting in this kind of lower swing high setup, if that's something that you would, if it fits your risk tolerance for you. And then the copper, the market, we did our little touch and go, and we haven't really come back to that area as of yet. So that's really what I have for tomorrow. I kind of feel like tomorrow we may not have a whole bunch of movement, but we are in between some pretty important areas. So if you've got any questions, please feel free to send me an email, chuck@iiefinancial.com. And I hope everybody has an absolutely amazing trade today. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.